Welcome back, everybody. It is the Working Brother back again with another talk. Nebojsa Malic is back. How you doing, Nebojsa?
Doing great. Happy to be back on the show.
Excellent. It's good to have you back. It's been a long while, as the subscribers will know. Even you may have noticed. I haven't recorded in 2 months or something, so there's all kinds of news to get through. But before we get to any of that, this is a comedy show. Nothing we say here has anything to do with reality, so any resemblance to reality is purely coincidental. Now that that's out of the way, any specific topic you want to get into? You got smorgasbord, as they would say in English, or an open buffet. English smorgasbord.
All you can eat slop buffet. Come on down.
Oh, you want to get into the slop? Should we get into the slop immediately?
No. Let's leave the slop. Get the slop out of the way.
You want to get the slop out of the way? I actually don't have the slop queued, but I was actually hoping not to do any slop. Oh, I forgot. I have to get this pop-up thing, like a scrolling banner that says no AI was used in the production of this video. It's also probably going to be in the title from now on. No AI was used, because the YouTube has become just AI basically.
All AI is a collection of the world's natural stupidity. There's nothing artificial or intelligence about it.
As Namakut admin says, artificial intelligence has no chance over natural stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do a classic meme before we get into... or a classic narrative, let's say, turned into a meme. Schrodinger's Ukraine will survive either way, but needs America to stay engaged to protect it. Schrodinger's EU can fund and arm Ukraine, but can't defend itself and will be overrun by Schrodinger's Russia, getting its ass handed to it in Ukraine, but will overrun Europe, because Schrodinger's NATO, the most powerful military alliance ever known, but has zero deterrent power. Schrodinger all the way down. Your comment, Nebojsa.
It's Schrodinger's all the way down. Yeah. People will, once you get people to stop believing in reality, they'll believe anything instead. And this whole thing of I think it was Friedrich Merz who said, we're trying to end the war quickly by giving Ukraine money for 2 more years. I'm like, bro, you're prolonging the war. Do you not realize that sentence 1 doesn't match sentence 2? Were you in school when they taught grammar? Which language is this? Are you a human? Blink twice if you are. It's one of those public officials who should at least be expected to be literate are spouting rank nonsense, because they don't actually believe any of that stuff. They will just recite whichever phrases they're given in order to get more power and keep power. That's really all there is to it. I know it's not funny, but it's kind of funny, because when you realize that your politicians aren't wise technocrats who have access to all this secret data and they're running society perfectly based on it, but are basically retarded, all of a sudden you feel better about yourself.
I don't know about myself, but I feel like they don't have a hope in their well, one of the reasons that I haven't recorded anything for the last 3 months is because really nothing's changed. We discussed everything that's been going on for the last 3 months in the 3 years ago. I might link to some old videos, but the followers of the channel will remember.
Well, yes, I would agree that we're sort of living in a bit of a recursive stupidity spiral, but there have been some developments. The front line is very, very dynamic, shall we say, and then of course the EU is going full mask off, revealing its true origins. Arresting people and calling it democracy. It's not a day goes by that you don't get another example of you thought we were dumb yesterday, hold my beer.
Speaking of examples, we've got an example here from the EU Parliament. Hold on, let me just put this on repeat so it doesn't skip to the next video. And we've got a meme that goes along with it. Where is that meme? Let's get to the meme first. This was shared, by the way. If you guys are on Telegram, you didn't miss any of this. A journalist asked why Israel isn't paying to rebuild Gaza, just like they want Russia to rebuild Ukraine in it. And it cost him his job. We've got video. Here it is.
Since you have been repeating, sorry, I'm Gabriele Annunziati from Agenzia Nova. You have been repeating several times that Russia should repay for the reconstruction of Ukraine. Do you believe Israel should repay for the reconstruction of Gaza, since they have destroyed almost all the strip and the civilian infrastructures? Thank you.
Thank you, Gabriele. It's definitely an interesting question on which I would not have any comment at this stage.
Because she can't have a comment, because obviously his question is logical and her response, or rather what she was tasked to say, is completely irrational. And she didn't even notice that she didn't even go say repeat the famous Russian meme, "Oh, you don't understand, it's different." She literally just locked up and said no comment and glitched, because these people are NPCs. But what happened later was, well, not so funny. Essentially, his employer was like, "Yeah, you embarrassed us by asking this question. You're fired." He's like, "Wait, what?" I was doing my job. And the agency's like, "Yeah, no, you made us look silly or something. You made us, lose face with the European Union." And it's funny how under those circumstances, how can you even, how can you even like function as a journalist? You can't.
The same way as a YouTuber. You just may make it like a comedy show, and or you just don't ask questions.
Well, ideally, the way the European Union understands democracy is that you don't vote, or you vote for people they tell you to vote, and you don't ask questions. You just repeat what you're told, and that is democracy and freedom. I mean, they said as much in Munich back in February, where J.D. Vance tried to tell them, "Look, guys, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works," and they didn't appreciate that. And I guess they just don't get the Appalachian sense of humor.
Yeah, it doesn't translate over the pond. I got an exclusive. This is what online geopolitical analysts look like when you take other things into consideration.
Yeah,
it's all a matter of perspective, is the way I like to think of it.
Well, I heard a crazy story that Institute for Study of War, that joke outfit that exists to employ Victoria Nuland's in-laws, actually adjusted its maps of Ukraine, which have been notoriously unreliable to begin with. Actually cheated on its maps in order to win a bet on one of these online betting sites. I don't know if it was Polymarket or something else. They literally got into trouble. Like, people were furious because they were the site was taking bets about this one town or something. They're betting on the war in Ukraine, and the ISW cheated. And I'm going, what did you guys expect? That Victoria Nuland's going to treat you decently? That there's going to be any fairness in this? Honestly, like, believing ISW maps, you deserve to be fleeced for everything you've got. Suits you right, NATO folks.
Speaking of maps, we have, how can I say, glossed over a lot of the developments over the last 2-3 months. You want to comment on the non-strategic and totally insignificant Russian gains that have been happening, and the 2% of Ukraine that they took over for the past year and a half, or whatever the current narrative is?
Yeah, totally bogged down. Took like 7 completely irrelevant, non-strategic towns that have never been near the front line and were considered impregnable 3 years ago, and just inflicted like 300,000 completely irrelevant, easily replaceable casualties. It's all going perfectly, and mit dem Angriffssteine ist alles war in Ordnung kommen, as the movie would say.
For us non-German speakers,
it's the beginning of the famous meltdown scene in the bunker. Steiner's attack will sort everything out.
Well, it's the 9999 scene. Okay. So one of the narratives that we have to address, considering you're from how can I say, Bosnia, technically Bosnia and Herzegovina, Republika Srpska, Sarajevo, is the sniper story.
Ah, yes, the safari. Oh, that's a beauty.
Sniper safari.
Oh,
you want to take it away? Beauty.
Well, let me take it away. So, the Italian and English media start this story, I believe, in early November, if my timeline is correct. Could be late October. Doesn't matter. They're timing it for the anniversary of the Dayton Peace Agreement for 30 years ago. And this activist writer, who doesn't really have a background in journalism or anything, he's just a mouthpiece, PR guy, goes and says that he submitted a lawsuit or a complaint to the prosecutor in Milan because he has evidence that rich Westerners were paying the Serbs in Bosnia vast sums of money and flying in from Trieste using these Yugoslavian airplanes and going on these weekend safaris, paying them, tens of thousands of marks back then, to shoot people and paying extra to shoot children, Bosnian Muslims living in Sarajevo. And he was inspired to do this after he saw the Slovenian documentary from 2022, and he spent the next 3 years looking for evidence, and he's got evidence, and he's got support from the Bosnian consulate and Bosnian intelligence and all this stuff. I was like, wait a second. This sounds familiar. And so I started looking, and sure enough, there is a documentary done by this Slovenian author, and it's literally a rehash of some 1993 propaganda. Because for those who might not remember, I was actually in Sarajevo during the war. I got shot at many times, never hit, thankfully. And I know all sorts of dirty tricks that all sides used and resorted to, using kids as bait and cover for artillery teams and having a little pop gun mounted on a truck before technicals were a thing and using that to draw artillery fire on civilians. Just 3 examples, but there were many more. Anyway, and so it struck me as, wait a second, I remember this. I remember this being a topic of propaganda. Well, I didn't have to wait for very long because apparently within a week of the story popping up, this Sarajevo television has interviews a guy who happens to be the brother of the man who was a disciple of Ali Izetbegovic and had actually gone to prison as an Islamist back in the 80s as one of his followers because there was this big trial of Islamist jihadists that led by Izetbegovic that the communists basically had no choice but to do something about because of the Iranian Revolution. And he was one of the people who went to jail with Izetbegovic and later became a major propagandist for his cause during the war. And this guy's brother, because this guy died, well, actually, doesn't matter. Wrong guy. Let me back up. This guy's brother, Nejad, goes on TV and basically says, all right, I wrote this. I called up the Slovenians who were actually Bosnian Muslim Army camera people during the war. They set everything up. I linked them up with this intelligence guy who had created the story to begin with. And I got paid by such and such, one of the other Izetbegovic friends, who had basically used Al Jazeera as a conduit for this. And he was bragging. Essentially, he went on a TV show and said, yeah, this was all me. And I set everything up, and this was a huge success, and blah, 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 blah. And I can tell you this because the guy who cut the check has passed away during COVID, and so he's not around to speak for himself. Now, interestingly, Al Jazeera Balkans, shut down several months ago, reportedly due to some financial malfeasance. I guess people were using money the way they shouldn't have, and this project could have been part of that. I don't know. Let's say that, we'll call it a joke and think it's funny. So he essentially, this guy on Bosnian Muslim and Bosnian Muslim TV essentially brags about how he set up the whole thing as a propaganda coup, and he doesn't say that it's false, but it's manifestly fake. And of course, none of the big claims from that whole story check out, because there were no Yugo import planes flying anywhere in 1992 or 1993. The Italians have no record of this. And all of these claims are basically bogus. Moreover, it turns out there was a safari, but not in 93, in 91, and it wasn't organized by the Serbs, it was organized by the Croats, and it wasn't hunting Muslims, it was hunting Serbs, and it wasn't the Italians, but the English. But other than that, it's perfectly true. Like the old Soviet joke.
It sounds a lot like safaris in the Donbass. That were,
and we're not even
like,
supposed
Nazi,
to talk about those.
Why are they going digging up history? They got safaris like Bucha and other ones going on now.
Well, you know what's funny about that? Funny in a
this is a comedy show way.
That all of this stuff that we've seen in Donbass since 2014 has actually been recycled 1990s Balkans propaganda. They haven't really come up with anything new.
I know.
Hollywood is so bankrupt intellectually, they can't even bother doing sequels. They just recycle the old stuff. They reimagine it, and then poorly.
I'm gonna take a little break. Remind everybody that I'm not eligible for monetization. There is no we here at Working Brother. It is just I. Thank you to everyone who's become a patron, all 2-3 of you, in the recent couple of months. You will get shirts, all of you, as I promised. As will you, Nebojsa, once we actually do meet up. Yeah, yours separated, but I still have to get through them. By the way, the shirts, they're excellent. I even washed them at 90 degrees, and the print didn't come off. So that's a bonus. And also, thanks to everyone who bought me a coffee. If you'd like to, get down in the links under here and get me some more coffees also. Now, just to give people a narrative, here's Arno Guillon's, let's say, summary of the story. I'm going to turn this down because I don't know if this is... yeah, so... This is the claim, as he was saying.
He's basically correct.
And then it's funny because of all people, that's the latest thing that they're attacking Vučić with. It's come on, bro. Everybody's seen the videos of him with machine guns from the 90s. It's not news.
Well, that was actually gilding the lily. I think that's where the narrative actually collapsed, because everybody's seen those recordings. They were trying to recontextualize them and try to drag him into this. And there was this Croatian journalist who chimed in, and this Italian guy's been doing media rounds. And the funniest thing happened, though. So this American congresswoman, Anna Paulina Luna, who was in charge of declassifying the JFK files that the Russians gave her, she was outraged by this and basically said, I'm urging a full investigation. We need to see if any Americans participated in this. If they have, they need to be severely punished. This is abominable. This is awful. And so you had people going, no, these are all lies. This is all propaganda. Don't fall for it. And you had a handful of people, myself included, who were like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's get the FBI on the case. Let's get the CIA on the case. Let's get everybody down to the bottom of this, and let's see where this came from. And this was before the confession that I just talked about. I'm like, let's investigate everything. Let's pull on this string and see where it goes. And my God, were a lot of people butthurt in the replies. They were like, no, you evil Serbs, shut up. I'm like, what? I just called for a full investigation. Why are you bothered by this? Oh. And then, of course, the whole thing unraveled even without an investigation, because it was such an obvious setup.
How do you feel about New York's new Muslim mayor? with his
I'm
new
drafting a
Muslim
telegram of
trends.
condolences as we speak. I'm hoping that by the time it arrives, the telegraph office will actually still be working. It might be the only thing that still works in New York.
I don't know. It's
Let me
times
do
we're
this. Let
living
me quote a famous American columnist, H.L. Mencken, who said that democracy is the belief that the people know what they want and deserve to get it good and hard. New Yorkers are about to get good and hard what they voted for, and I'm here in Belgrade watching from the sidelines, investing in popcorn stocks.
Any resemblance to reality is purely coincidental. This is Jordana Cutler, Director of Public Policy for Israel and the Jewish diaspora at Meta. We banned content claiming Zionists run the world or control the media. It's a comedy show. It's like we're living in a tragic comedy. Oh, speaking of, Venezuela is going to be attacked really soon. This is my interpretation of the mainstream media talking about Venezuela getting attacked.
Unpopular opinion. I don't think Venezuela is actually getting attacked. Because if they had the force to do it, they would have done it by now. But they don't. They're trying to pressure Venezuela into folding without an actual invasion because they I'm not going to say they're going to get their asses beat, but I think they're
costly.
What, the Americans? They can't take Venezuela.
Costly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you need boots on the ground. They're not willing to do that. You need to be willing to lose a carrier. They're not willing to do that. And right now, trying to pull off a regime change when you've told the entire world you don't want to do that anymore, while putting up, having your military, which you haven't reformed yet, try to put up or shut up, and they can't put up. That's a recipe for costly embarrassment, if not outright disaster. I think this is all just for show. I think it's just all a giant bluff. They're trying to do this via non-invasion means because they know that the invasion will fail.
This is a topic that I really wanted not to have to cover, but it is the anniversary, so we have to cover. No, not the Venezuela thing. This. Should I play it?
Yeah.
Who is it? Sky News.
It's easy for us. Everything is easy when we are changing our country.
We're going to continue to fight against our corrupt government.
We have nothing really to lose, so we are more willing to change things.
Serbia is marking a year since 16 people were killed when the canopy of a railway station collapsed. The past 12 months have been marked by nationwide protests, led by students who say that the country's leaders have blood on their hands. They want to...
Just like Miaf did, and just like every one of these fucking protests has the hand symbol. It's just so pathetic.
You know what bugs me, though? In England, where Sky is based, you've got more than 16 people getting macheted every day by
I'm going to get to that.
And there's no protests, or the protests that do happen against this, first of all, don't have the bloody hands, and secondly, the same Sky is denouncing them as racist Nazi fascists because, protesting Keir Starmer is illegitimate, but protesting anybody else that Keir Starmer doesn't like is fantastic. Regardless of what one thinks about the Serbian government, I think we can all conclude that the British should STFU and GH, as in go home.
GTFO is also acceptable.
bring down the Serbian government, but will they succeed?
So wait, so it's just about bringing down the Serbian government? That's what it's for.
Always has been.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been saying that for 2 years now, but at least they said it out loud.
The Serbian government has called these people terrorists and claimed that they're being funded by an unnamed foreign hand.
Unnamed foreign hand, no. That's USAID and that like whole thing that Che Bowles did an excellent little part 1 documentary on.
Thousands of them, and they believe that they are an unstoppable movement that will soon force the government to collapse.
Well, they've been believing that for the past year, and how's that worked out?
Officially for a year. Unofficially, it's like 4 or 5 years. That the protests have been going on since I've been the working brother. Like even before that.
Serbia, actually in every country, because now the protests are going up in every country.
It's tough, but we don't feel it when there are people around us. So we have each other, so we're not alone in this. I walk, and I just look at the concrete, and then I hear like the applause and whistles, and it's like my legs are easier. It's like I didn't even walk all those kilometers before.
How's it been? It's been okay?
You know what? I'm going to find that AI thing, and I'm going to save it while you're talking, and I'm going to play the AI thing that Serbian Metaverse Quest did of like Serbian protesters, and we're going to compare their statements.
You know,
I'm gonna play this and leave you on here with
Everything's
it.
easy when we are changing our country.
Last year, in the city of Novi Sad, a canopy outside the main railway station collapsed, killing 16 people. It was a national tragedy, and it galvanized anger against the government. Many believe the disaster was the consequence of corruption and cost-cutting. The formal investigation
many believe.
is still ongoing.
That does a lot of heavy lifting.
Believe, operative word.
Well, it's one of those many say, and it's it's one of those dirty journalist tricks that when you're trying to impose your own opinion, you basically say, "Many have said." How do you feel about that? I'm like, well, what do you mean? You just asked me something you're claiming. Oh no, I'm not claiming that, but many have said. BS. Cite some bloody sources. But a lot of a lot of corporate and mainstream media journalists, legacy media journalists, like to use that trick as a shorthand when asking questions, and it's always a gotcha question. And it's like, get out of here with the many have said or many believe. No serious journalist will use that because it's a clear signal that what you're about to say is BS.
I think you're not giving them enough credit. Let's hear what Scott has to say.
This is part of a 16-day walk to the city of Novi Sad. They're marking the year anniversary. 1 day walking for every life lost. We've joined this march just outside the capital city, Belgrade, as it makes its way north. And all along the way, when they pass through villages and towns, people are coming out to applaud them. People are giving them free food and drink to help them along their way. And this is what the Serbian government is worried about. This movement against It's painful stuff. Some of them have been walking for 2 weeks now. They're watched every step of their 250 miles.
They're watched every step of their way. They're watched by the CCTV cameras we have all over London.
Well, here's the thing. I haven't seen a blockade in several weeks now. It's too cold.
Forget about too cold, man. Even before it was cold, there wasn't any blockade.
This summer, it was fun to go blockadeering, and
blockadeering.
Just mess with traffic and feel super powerful and important and whatever, and give interviews to foreign media, and people treated it like a freaking festival. And now nobody's doing it because you'd have to freeze your bollocks off in December, and nobody seems to have the will to do that because it's no longer fun. It's become cringe.
I found it.
What can I say?
Watch this.
Let's go and see what the students have to say.
We want Scandinavian style of democracy, I don't know what is that exactly, but on TikTok it looked very chill.
Last protest, I dropped brand new iPhone my parents buy me. For me, that is real sacrifice,
We cycled to Strasbourg to beg AU for help, they no reply. But history show they love Serbs, so we have hope. I don't really know what the protest is, but I got like 12 new followers since I came, and my Insta is blowing up.
People in 90s had war and sanctions, but now is real stress, like which skis do I buy for Kopaonik?
About right.
I
know it's AI, but
the
it's
resemblance
about right.
to these on the street interviews is uncanny. Like, it's unbelievably uncanny, the resemblance to these interviews. So yeah.
50-mile journey by the authorities and by civilians, unsure but intrigued by a movement that is refusing to go away. In March, hundreds of thousands demonstrated in Belgrade.
It did go away. What are you talking about?
In Serbia's history. It was
not only students now. All sorts and all ages have joined this movement, even war veterans.
These kids are fighting for values that are normal everywhere in the world. We have laws, but they are not respected. They exist only as dead letters on
values
paper.
normal everywhere in
Crime
the
has
world,
prevailed,
like
especially in
arresting
state
people in
institutions.
block
And we
roadways.
must fight against
Right.
No.
Okay.
The thing is that have everywhere in the world. I don't know if anybody's checked recently, but it's not like it used to be anywhere in the world. Let's put it that way.
Have you checked England, buddy?
Ensure law is respected. Simply put, full support for the youth.
Luca, Jellico, and Angela explained to me why they are now a part of it.
The students have nothing to lose. They can't say anything to us. For example, for a worker, they can condition them with firing them, but we have nothing really to lose. So we are more willing to change things.
I think that people have found hope because we are not politicians, and therefore people see us as not corrupt and not looking to get something for ourselves in here, but actually.
People see us as not corrupt. Very interesting phrasing and choice of narrative. Let's put it that way.
Well, it's confession through projection. I mean, yeah, obviously you were picked as the face of this stuff, as the tool of this stuff, because you're presumed innocent. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's what the critics of these protests have been saying for months, and they just admitted it.
We're doing something for everyone.
We have made a huge difference. Even though one might not say so, we can see that a lot more people are politically active. I can see that a lot more people are willing also to change things, so that's a huge step forward.
We're going to continue to fight against our corrupt government, and maybe we'll study.
She's the iPhone one that we just saw.
Yeah, she doesn't look like she would last very much fighting against anything.
Wait. Now we get to the pro-government protesters.
Pro-government. They're now camped on the road outside the National Assembly in central Belgrade, closing what was a busy street through the capital. Yet, there was almost no one there when we visited.
They're closing a busy street, whereas the other ones are closing insignificant streets.
Part of the camp is in a small park, shut off by barriers. We weren't allowed in.
Can we come in? Can we come in? So we're not allowed in. There are, just to point out, that there's some what look like official police in uniforms on the corner there, and then here's apparently civilian police, whatever that means, and whoever's paying for it. But they don't look like students, and we haven't seen any students here in the couple of hours that we've been.
The student movement claims that these protesters are being hired and paid for by the government. A renter mob, if you like. Of course, that is an accusation that is strongly denied.
No, I didn't even get any cent, and everyone thinks that, and that's what hurts me. But, it is not the truth. I haven't got anything from it. It's just my free will that I want to support my colleagues who want to go to the faculties.
But you are now blocking a main road in the centre of the capital.
Yeah, but the students in the blockades blocked our whole country. They blocked the most important thing in life of a student. They blocked our university. So that's our answer for that. And that's happening for 1 year now.
Back to our buddies.
Yeah, back to our CNN overlords.
The mass protests have also put a spotlight on media freedom in Serbia. News organizations
Media
writing
freedom.
or broadcasting criticism.
No, not media freedom. Not the country whose main broadcaster is being sued for $10 billion for libel by the God Emperor of the Universe. Not media freedom.
Not to mention the country with the most arrests for online posts and social media.
Right.
The government, or even just simply reporting the student protests, say that they have been singled out and targeted.
The president repeated so many times that we are terroristic.
News director TV1 and TV. No,
that we are enemy of the state, and he is targeting us.
You're not enemies. You have done nothing against the state of Luxembourg. That's your country, right? That's where they're based. That's their country. That's Luxembourg. They keep saying we're not a Serbian outfit, and therefore we're not subject to Serbian laws. Like that's a trick, right?
Have they? Do they say that? Really?
Well, yeah. They constantly claim that. Oh no. We're a NGO based in Luxembourg. We don't have to abide by all of these rules and regulations that we demand everybody else follows. It's a neat trick.
That's news to me.
Not only N1 is as N1, but by also pointing out to reporters or anchors, claiming that they're people who don't like this country, and immediately that produce a huge number of threats to us because that kind of narrative that comes directly from the first man of the country.
The European Union, which Serbia is pushing to join, has been critical of the country's approach to independent media.
Much pain.
But the minister responsible for Serbia's membership defended his government's actions.
I wouldn't say they're a threat to national security, but on the other hand, if you have an illegal activities, and I mentioned 25,000 illegal political gatherings, which are allowed, which are not suppressed, but nevertheless they're illegal, and then you have media outlets who are not just covering.
You want to say something?
Okay. This guy is like a Joe Biden level walking gaffe machine. 25,000 illegal gatherings, and he's like, which are not suppressed. Why aren't they suppressed? Exactly. What is your job?
Now we can say that we allow freedom and democracy and
No. That's not. No. Hold on. Hear me out. All right, stay with me. A government's job is to defend the lives, liberty, and property of its citizens. Paraphrasing from Locke and Hobbes, either way. Whichever theory of government legitimacy you subscribe to, whether it's ordained by God or come up from natural laws, it follows that the government has to have a monopoly of force and enforce its own laws, preferably its own rather than somebody else's.
Preferably equally. Blind, justice, all that.
I mean, the Ottomans enforced their laws rather unequally, but they still tried to enforce their own. And here's a government that's basically saying, we're not going to enforce the laws because that would be mean.
No, they said these people have not followed. No, they said these people have not been following the laws, but we have not punished them because we don't want to look bad in front of the EU.
But you're supposed to punish them. What do you want, a cookie?
I guess the cookie is that at the end of the day, when they want to actually break them up, they can declare them illegal. I mean, if these people who were actually behind the protests wanted to, make this a legitimate thing, even in the least sense, they could, register all these protests like you're supposed to do, with any protest.
But then you'd have to sign up as an organizer, and they famously insisted they don't have a leader because they're just a sort of a spontaneous mob.
No, what do you call them? A Soviet. They're a Soviet.
Right, they're student Soviets, exactly. And which revolutionary registers a protest? That's so bourgeois of them. Again, what I don't get is you have a government minister admitting to British TV, always a bad idea, that the government is not enforcing laws. Now, admittedly, from the purely practical standpoint, the government strategy of ignoring them until they get bored and go away seems to have worked. And I guess what works isn't something you should argue with, but
it's not just ignoring them. They went away. They're like the Trump's shutting down of USA definitely had something to do with that. You know what I mean? Draining their sources. And when I say USA, I use the term loosely because there's the UK aid and all the other aids and the EU aid and all the other ones that are
well, I mean that entire octopus of NGOs that's crisscrossed the world and has tentacles everywhere really did depend to a great extent on American taxpayer money. And once that spigot was turned off, well, things ran dry. And I, for one, am very, very sad about that. I'm just crying now.
Yeah, it's depressing that the color revolution that has been going on for 4 or 5 years hasn't brought
but also participated in gathering and organizing such kind of events. That is something that we cannot support.
So you say some of the media organizations are actually helping organize protests against the government,
that is the fact of life that we are witnessing here for previous almost 12 months.
By nightfall, the marchers were nearing Novi Sad after another day on the road. The students bed down on the streets, rows and rows of mattresses lined out for them. They get some sleep.
Yeah, he didn't show them dancing. It's funny, they made a huge kerfuffle about the dancing in the pro-government tents on the day of the anniversary, and then the next day, one of the mothers of the victim was seen dancing. So, it's just.
I am just so tired of performative grief. It's. What is this? What is this panopticon? It's bad enough that we've got security cameras watching our every move, but why do we feel a need? Okay, fine. I understand that. basically television personality in addition to my journalist duties, but I don't ham it up for the camera. I don't have to. But a lot of people tend to just, adopt these online personas and go out of their way to antagonize people, to start beefs, to essentially behave like gangster rappers from the 90s, not remembering that they all ended up mostly dead because of the gangsta part. And it seems like nobody is really thinking about the consequences of actions. They're just sort of emoting for the sake of likes and clicks, like that one AI student said. I got followers from this. And it's theater kids occupied government, or rather theater kids occupied society. And it's just drama for drama's sake anymore. And nobody's arguing. Nobody has coherent arguments or debates anymore. It's all just, my suffering is greater than thine, and therefore I deserve.
I specifically didn't want to put one of the how should I say, street performances of them doing some like modern art dance, interpretive dance with fire, but I did want to save this video. The women's bathroom was promised to them 3,000 years ago in Brooklyn, New York. Also, don't be antiseptic, especially if you're in the US. And if you're in Australia, I'm sorry, you probably can't even see this. Also, this is the infinite freedom glitch that I wanted to get to in the UK.
Am I recording? Sorry, mate. Oh, that's like
the American ladies don't have to work the camera, you see.
Your eyes look beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, I'll tell you what, actually these outfits are surprisingly more comfortable than what you'd expect. You don't feel self-conscious about your big nose or about your bum. In all honesty, you could piss or shit yourself and nobody would know.
About the UK.
It reminds me of a story from the old Yugoslavia back in like the 1920s.
Okay.
That, and this is one of the stories that works on multiple levels. So the customs police spotted a large number of goods being smuggled by people who wore Muslim veils, which was typical for some Muslims who lived in Bosnia and some parts of Serbia and present day like North Macedonia. And they came up with a trick to expose fake Muslim women, because it was considered improper to search them. They would throw a coin into these people's laps, and if they pulled their legs together to catch it, they were men. Because a woman who wears a skirt her entire life, or a dress, would naturally
credit
right
to catch it with the
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that was a foolproof method, and it's instinctive. You don't have time to think, you just do. And so it was a foolproof method of catching smugglers who wore burqas.
I like it.
The smuggling very quickly stopped. But I'm trying to think of like modern police doing that, and there would be a million lawsuits for Islamophobia or something within a week. Can't even do fun stuff anymore.
I think not many coins would be left on the ground, considering the, let's say, prevalence of one kind of people recently. Anyway, let's not be antiseptic. This was suggested that I should make into a shirt. Do you think I should make this into a shirt? Would you buy this as a shirt? Let me know in the comments. Let's see what else I've got here. Oh, Trump's doctor jokes. Trump's MRI doctor basically confirmed he's immortal. It's true.
People don't call him God Emperor for nothing.
What's your take on him admitting he's Jewish? I don't have the clip, but I might have it next time.
Trump is whatever you want him to be. He's the hero. He's the villain we deserve. He's the hero we need or the villain we deserve, alternately, depending on where you look on it. You know, there was this whole big blow up, and I'm gonna basically spend less than a minute on it, but there was this whole big pearl clutching episode when he posted about Rob Reiner. Because
yes, that's a very interesting story.
Yeah, so Reiner apparently, according to preliminary information, because LA abolished its homicide division for the sake of wokeness, so they're having to investigate this very carefully otherwise, but apparently their son was a drug addict and had a pretty nasty personality problem that was probably not helped by the fact that his father was an obsessive lunatic about Trump. And he spent the last 10 years obsessing about Trump to the detriment of his family and his creative ability that is non-existent.
How much do you know about his child abuse within that family?
I haven't heard any claims of child abuse, but
then you should probably defer commenting on the subject until later. Let me put it that way.
Right. Well, so in any case, it appears that the son was responsible for the murders. I presumed innocent until proven guilty, obviously, but Trump basically posted on his own personal social network that you know, rest in peace. They made great movies. He made great movies once, and then went completely insane with Trump hatred, which is essentially true. And
I'm not
people
saying
went
there's no
ballistic.
TDS
They were like,
involved.
"Oh, this is such a terrible thing to say." I'm like, "Bro, do you even know Trump? Where have you been for the past 10 years? Do you expect that man to love his haters?"
The interesting thing pointed out by some people in chat, not my chat, but some other chat, was that Trump put out that, you know, oh, sorry, the guy died. Even though he hated me, the guy died. Such a shame. Good guy, even though he hated me. The message along those lines. And he posted that the day that Netanyahu was trying to get everybody to be like, oh no, Australia, we must bomb Iran. We must bomb Iran, Australia, Venezuela. We must bomb Iran now, today. And Trump was just like, Rob Reiner. Meh. And then the whole news cycle for the next day was like Rob Reiner and not must bomb Iran. So there's
coincidence? I wonder.
Yeah, maybe not. Also, there's many other things. I'll send them to you later. But they're not for YouTube. Maybe if we made a Rumble special, but like not for YouTube. Is this a joke to you? Unfortunately, everything is a little bit of a joke to me. This is a comedy show, in case people who are still here have forgot. Did you hear about the RAM prices? I'm so happy that I bought like 64 gigs of RAM earlier this year. I'm gonna be a millionaire.
You should not reveal that in public. You might get
right.
You might get robbed.
Somebody might break in.
Heard you got robbed.
Like the most valuable thing I have in the house is the RAM.
I just want to chat very politely over some beverages with whoever decided to use video cards for AI processing, because yeah, that was a bad design choice.
But apparently the whole it's not only about that, it's about the like silver is going up and the prices of all these things are going up, and it's not only AI related, it's also related to silver.
Wait. You mean there's actual things, like physical things we need to create AI and computers and stuff? But that would require us to have industry, and that's mean to the environment. And how are we going to power all these data centers with windmills?
Also, it requires energy, yeah. I went flying, by the way. That's one of the reasons that I was missing. I'm going to put some video in the background so that you guys can see how that looked and how Belgrade looks while Nebojsa and I continue to chit-chat here. There we go. Flying around at a park somewhere in Belgrade. And most people who I show the videos to are like, they're boring. You don't even hit anyone at the end, or there's no explosions and no deaths. But
You
yeah,
get
this
so
is like
conditioned by the Donbass.
maiden flight on this little 6S around Belgrade. I was testing it a bit to see how it goes. It's actually pretty nice. Haven't flown in a long time. It was good to fly again. This is illegally high, by the way. If you're flying, you're not supposed to fly this high, technically. But then again, all flying FPV is technically illegal because you're not allowed to fly out of line of sight. And when you put the goggles on, the drone is out of line of sight. So, yeah. In any case, flying was fun.
We were talking about laws being selectively enforced, right?
There you go. It's like it's like Russia. Somebody told me, and they have all the laws on the books, but like they don't really enforce all of them,
But when they do, I heard a story about one of the Tajiks who was involved in a Krokus City massacre, trying to file a human rights complaint because he ran up a tree. Trying to escape from the Russian security services, and they brought in a chainsaw and cut the tree down, so the tree fell on him. And I'm like, bro, do you have both of your ears? Count yourself lucky.
Long-time SMO enjoyers will remember the ear incident. That was very funny how the West reacted to that. These people who enjoy your memes, are they in the room with us now? No, they're online. They're right there. That's where they are. I know you people are real. Some of you. By the way, the views have been hilarious all this time that I've been off. Like, it's unbelievable how like you can see the views go up and then go down and then go up and then go down. And I'm talking like one video, like I checked the views and it's like 360, 460 views, whatever. I go to sleep, I look at it in the morning, it's like 427. I was just like, what? Like negative views overnight. Interesting. So yeah.
How does one get negative views? Is that some sort of antimatter technology? Is YouTube sitting on some sort of secret it's not sharing with the rest of us? Like going back in time and unviewing a thing? Is that a thing?
Basically. RAM inflation. We already kind of covered that. Let's see what else we got here. Economy update. Oh, this one's good. Just an update on the economy. Sophia Drake, OnlyFans creator, ex-Goldman Sachs squad, quantitative finance. And Wall Street Bets comes in with congrats to switching to more honest work.
Yeah, you could say that.
I don't know what to tell you. How do you feel about the economy?
Apparently whoring is the way of the future. I don't know. I'm not Jim Cramer. But I saw a statistic the other day that OnlyFans is actually the most productive company per creator or per employee or something. And it's
per employee. Yeah, per employee. It's like 4 million or like 10 million or something.
Blows my mind that this is, even legal, let alone. I mean, strictly speaking, from the standpoint of GDP, this is, supremely productive, which is only proof that GDP is not really a measurement of economic activity because it's clearly nonsense.
All I can say is it's the oldest. What's it called? The oldest profession. Yeah. It's just virtualized, and it's just terrible, man. Like if we ever get into that subject, like OnlyFans and the like whoring out of America and or the whole world, it's just disgusting, man. It's beyond belief. But over the last 2 months, considering I've been not getting any, random coffees on my old videos from all of you lovely people who have been watching, I was thinking maybe I should start an OnlyFans. But like nothing nude. It would just be us like talking normally, but like, on OnlyFans and uncensored.
In theory, the platform can accommodate that. And I think there was
I know.
I think there was a fiction writer who actually did just that and, got a
was
whole bunch
making
of
more
money.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a meme a while back.
Yeah, but, when you say OnlyFans, everybody knows what you mean.
What's your take on Charlie Kirk's widow? I was going to say ex-wife, but she's supposedly a widow. Have you been paying attention to the what's her face Candace drama?
I have, and I think it ties into what I said before about the society of theater kids and drama queens. I think if the FBI were competent, none of this would be a thing. But the FBI is not competent. And if the Republican Party cared enough to make political hay, and I know this sounds passé, but we just condemn people for being political vultures. But the sad fact is, it works. Never let a crisis go to waste, as one of Obama's chiefs of staff once said. But they just said, okay, yeah, one of our biggest organizers got killed, and we're going to do absolutely nothing about it. We're going to have endlessly quarrel about who supports Israel more. And no wonder their base is pissed. And of course, Candace is doing her thing, and then people are saying, well, how can Erica do this or that or the other? Because they're spinning their wheels. There was this energy that had to be harnessed and directed, and of course, the people who were supposed to do that didn't. And one of those, choices have consequences. All I will say about American politics at this point is that all of these polls showing Trump losing support among the millennials and Zoomers, they're not supporting him because he's bad or evil or too right wing or whatever. They're objecting to him because he's not hard enough. Because these are people who have basically had their entire lives foreclosed and mortgaged off, and penned in by the winners of transition, the boomers, the diversity hires, and all this other mechanism that essentially conspired into a perfect storm of denying people any sort of future that they mortgaged their grandchildren to go to get degrees for. And now you're telling them, oh, yeah, you just need to work harder. And most people are like, no, we want death squads.
Since you mentioned Trump's drop in polls, I'm going to play devil's advocate. It's the Epstein list because nobody was arrested for the Epstein list, blah, 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 blah.
Nobody cares about the Epstein list. The Democrats stopped talking about it once Bill Clinton showed up in the files.
That's what I was going to get to. What do you take about Bill and Hillary Clinton maneuvering as much as possible to be not subpoenaed to, give their takes, let's put it that way?
Well, they've always thought they were above the law. I mean, they insisted they were above the law in the 90s during the Clinton impeachment process. And Hillary literally was above the law with her emails. The whole using a private server for government business, that should have been disqualifying for anybody. And all of a sudden they flipped that around into, Trump Hotel existing means he's corrupt. Notice the whole threat of corruption being a standard smear that they throw at enemies. This is a family that's literally been above the law their entire lives, and so they're not even capable of conceiving that they might not be at any given point. And on one hand, Trump is saying, well, we don't do lawfare. On the other hand, his base is saying that is why you fail. This whole thing of people must be arrested and go to jail, which is a refrain of Serbian protesters too, seems to me like a fixation. But the issue in America is that there are objectively people who have done genuinely horrible things, from Anthony Fauci onward, that were auto-pen pardoned for it, and that's going to be.
Didn't Walrus get some time or some fine or something? What's his name? The mustache guy from the youth.
Well, he's getting federally prosecuted for that, but we haven't heard anything about that lately. And of course, the judges think that they're above everything, and they need to be reined in. I mean, I'm not going to get into American politics because if I did, we'd be here till tomorrow. But it's one of those, people in the White House aren't stupid. They're just too nice. I'm going to leave it at that.
Vanity Fair would have something different to say.
Case in point. Everybody's like, literally all the chatter I heard is, why the hell would you give enemy media, unrestricted access for 11 interviews. Are you an idiot?
We are coming up to the hour, and you know how I don't like to post-process these that are longer than an hour. I've got 3 memes lined up here. This one we will do a silent. This one we'll do a silent review of, because you know these things can't be said on YouTube. Also, why didn't you tell me you're on an international terrorist watch list? I'm shy. All right, great work on the internet, everyone. Have a good one. Nebojsa, thank you for stopping by. As always, good to have you on. Like, share, subscribe, everybody who stuck around to the end. Leave a comment if you feel like it. And yeah, follow the links under here to all of the media that will link you to him and to me. Thanks again. Peace out.
Cheers.